Welcome to Region Sports. I'm Jay Simmons. We're here at the Boneyard, Griffith High School, and joining me today at the 100-yard walk is Coach Phil Mason. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Good to see you, Jay.
Good to see you. I'm sure you're excited about the upcoming season, but let's go back in the time machine a little bit.
All right.
About 3 years. I think in the last 3 years you're 21 and 11. And what brought you here to Griffith High School?
Well, it was the connection that I had through Andrea. Okay, what a fierce rivalry that was. Understanding what Griffith football was all about, and you and I have had this conversation many times, but I've always heard this little saying go around that when Griffith's good, the region's good.
Yeah.
So I took that really to heart, and I felt like if my family had my back, which they did, my son PJ was really excited being an Andrean grad and a player for them. That, hey, Dad, you're the guy to come in here and maybe get this thing turned around a little bit. So we put together a great staff. We've had 2 really good years, and we've got a great senior group coming back. So it's a lot of fun being here.
Well, elaborate on your staff. We were talking off camera just a second ago how dedicated these guys are to improving the program and taking you guys to the next level.
Yeah, I've got 2 Andrean kids, and Dimitri Blanco, who played for me. It was quarterback for me and Andrean, who runs the offense, and Jordan Camosa, who was a little bit before Dimitri, who helps us with our H-backs and our tight ends and our outside linebackers, and he does a great job. And Pat Yankee, who is just a Griffith guy. He's coached here at Griffith, coached at Calumet. Dave Cisak, who played at Morton, who I've known, is the same age as my son, and was with me at Michigan City. Bo Nunez, who played here at Griffith, and then bringing Ben Geffert back has just been fabulous. Ben's such a great guy.
Right.
He brings so much to the table. So just a great little staff that we've put together and a lot of fun. We all get along.
And that makes it
really good group.
Yeah, that makes practices a lot more fun.
Yep.
What was the first thing you wanted to establish when you walked through those doors?
An understanding of dedication and hard work, and really having a culture of football is going to be 365. We want you guys to be multi-sport athletes, but at the same time, we're going to set up a culture and a standard by which you're going to abide by and work through and be a part of in order for us to be successful. And that took some time. I'm not gonna lie, we looked at it our first year. We knew we had a really good freshman class, and we still had some kids that understood, some old families in town, like the Davenports and the Strezzos, who understood the true what Griffith football was all about. So we built off of those kids, and we only went 3-7, but we knew that we were establishing what we wanted to establish and getting the direction we needed to go.
All right. Well, talking about that character. Griffith was just ripped pretty badly a couple weeks ago with a storm, a wind shear. I don't think a tornado actually hit down. But tell us, what did the athletes step up to do during that moment of crisis for the community?
It was really simple. We just got a phone call from Pat Yankee, who lives here in town on the east side of town, and he said, "Hey, things are pretty bad. We're probably not going to be able to do much today." And I said, we're going to do a lot today. We're going to get out. We have an app that we can get a hold of all the kids. And we told them hard shoes, blue jeans, any kind of clippers that you got. And we're going to go out and do this. And originally our plan was to take some mini buses. We were able to carpool and do it. And man, we took on some stuff that we had to settle them down, okay? Because it's like, guys, this is contractor work,
Right.
But I think we helped some families out the best we could. It was almost, it was so humbling, and you felt bad, like you got done, and you're like, I told my wife, I could do this for 2 weeks for 12 hours a day to help these people. It's like you really wanted to,
right.
You felt really bad. And it was devastating. When you drove around, you just couldn't believe it. It wasn't, I had driven over to Andrean and saw the devastation and felt we even offered to go help them, but this was town-wide. So you knew it wasn't a tornado. You knew it was straight line winds because it affected every area of town you could see. It really affected kind of the northeast side of town really bad. But we did what we could, and again, we wish we could have done more, but it was neat to see how hard that was when you saw the character and the culture that we were trying to build come out of our kids, because you didn't have to tell them what to do, and they just got after it.
That's,
that was neat.
that's awesome. I know experiencing, I had some flood damage in my house. I lived a couple blocks here from school, and yeah, it was heartbreaking for a lot of families. Or, and you said that the other side of town over that way. All right, well, continuing on here. Now we're at the center field or midfield for you got the new G and the new field out here. Talk to us about how they designed it.
Well, the new G really came about through Brian Jennings. This is something that he got through baseball, and when him and I talked about it, he told me a story of a long time ago when Griffith High School first originated, that they reached out to Purdue for Purdue to help with uniforms, and we're talking 20s, 30s type thing. And him and I really talked about the connection to a state university. We really didn't have a logo on the helmet, and in today's kids are flashy. They want their thing, change can be good. I know some people in the community are like, oh, we don't like the G. Well, but the kids like the G,
Right.
So, and there's so many designs of the Panther that the G just became, so we put it on our helmet. We designed it off of the Purdue P, to kind of correlate with that. I think it looks really sharp, and our administration liked it, so we sold it on it. I think it's a great look.
All right, well, to continue on, I mean, I love the design of the football field, the dark and light, dark and light. There's some other construction. There's construction going on behind us right here for the new swimming pool. You got construction going on over at the high school or at the main building. Tell us a little bit about what's going on the inside.
Well, obviously the new swimming pool, and that's going to be fantastic. That's going to be a great facility for the community. It is just, man, when you step in there and look at it, it's a phenomenal facility. And then the old pool is being turned into an indoor practice facility with multi-use locker rooms, a theater room for film viewing for all teams.
Nice.
So, yeah, we're really excited about that. It's going to give us a lot more space for everybody to work through and work with. And it really brings us up to speed as far as, we're a state-of-the-art facility and a great 3A facility for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Get Pulse Technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT.
You'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art.
Turn a little bit more to what's going on the field. With that, we talked about it a second ago, the 21-11 record the last 3 years. What's the numbers like compared to when you got here back 3 years ago to the numbers now?
The numbers have stayed pretty level for what we want. And what that is we're somewhat of a cut program. You gotta meet our standards in order to play football here. We're just not taking all comers.
Right.
That's just the culture that we want to have. We want to have kids that are high character kids that do well, that understand what we're expecting from them. And we want work ethic. We want good kids in the building. We want good kids in the community. I've always said that once you're a football player for your school, you kind of have that identity for the rest of your life. You really do, and that's an important identity to carry. So we want the right kids in this program. We want it to be carried out in the community. When our kids are at Fest, when they're at Central Park,
right,
you're going to be identified as a Griffith football player. I want to hear great feedback. I want to hear, man, those Griffith football players are great kids. I want our faculty to want football players in their classroom. We tell our kids all the time, when you walk up and see your teacher, you need to say good morning, good afternoon, hi, how you doing? You need to sit in the front row. You need to be attentive. Do the right thing, set the example for the rest of the school. And if we do that, I believe the importance of our football program is we really set the tone for the school year, and if our kids are excited and they're doing things the right way, we excite that building and we excite the rest of our school community, and then obviously the community itself.
Right.
And that's really our goal.
Yeah, Griffith is a football town. Continuing with that, so how's the summer been going? Talking about the kids and everything, how's the summer been going?
We've had a great summer. We go to camp out at Manchester University, which our kids really enjoy. It got cut short by weather, but we only missed 2 sessions. We have great competition out there. We always do. And a couple local teams and a couple teams from southern Indiana that we always love to go against. And just a great experience for our guys. And then our summer scrimmages have been jam-packed. We went out to Valpo. They were a great host with Warsaw, Valpo, and South Bend St. Joe. I don't think you can get better than that.
No, that's pretty good competition for
Port South Bend Adams, and working with a little bit with East Chicago. So, yeah, from that aspect, it's really been a productive summer for us.
All right, well, let's continue on with that. Stand on the team. Let's talk about who are some names that we're going to hear a lot about this upcoming fall.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, and speaking from the heart, being a former offensive lineman, this is a phenomenal offensive line. It really is. I mean, this is my 25th year as a head coach. What, my 30? I don't know how many years I've been coaching high school football, and you know, it's Stanley Lesko's our right tackle. It's 6'3", 275. Right now, he's got a couple of D2 offers, and I expect things to really grow for him. He's a great player. Next to him is the heart and soul, Gavin Edwards, who's right now about 6'4.5", 320, committed to Northern Illinois. You know, he's just a great player. Sean Mitchell's our center. He's a big boy. You know, he's a big boy. He's going to end up playing some NII football. He's 300 and some odd pounds. He does a really good job for us. Xavier Brown, who has been playing left guard for us. And then Grayson Verbich, who's a younger kid at 6'5", about 305. All of those kids are bench pressing over 300 pounds. All of them are cleaning around 275 to 300 pounds. All of them are squatting between 450 and 500 pounds. We need to bully people. You know, I tell them every day, we need to bully people. And then you got Ryan Bullion coming back at quarterback, and Jason Quillen on the outside at receiver. Desmond Nealon at tailback. We really like our offense. We really do. We got some young names on defense, you know. We had a young Buckus kid playing middle linebacker for us. Hunter's a great kid. He's learning the game really well. But Mason Litkey at linebacker, Jacob Henfield, and then Devon Thomaston, who's going to play both sides of the ball. Not only is he just explosive on offense, but a mainstay on defense along with Jacob Henfield and Aaron Wilson. So we like who we are. We really do.
The time possession is going to be pretty significant for you guys with that size of that offensive line.
Absolutely.
But you know, with the offensive line like that, you know, you say one thing about them: they're never late for lunch or dinner or breakfast.
Those guys like to eat.
They like to eat. All right, Coach, we're entering the red zone.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
All right, we're going to do some rapid fire here.
All right.
All right. some softballs for you. What's your favorite food?
What's my favorite food? I would say I'm kind of a chicken wing guy, no doubt about it.
All right, you and we just did the Calumet coach Nick Testa. He
Yeah.
said the same thing. All right, what's the favorite place? You gonna give a shout out to one chicken wing place? What are you gonna go with?
Well, you know what? Man, Bugaboo's down in Cedar Lake has got some good chicken wings, buddy.
All right.
You know, but local establishments here, we all, you know, you and I are Broad Street guys,
Yeah.
so they do a good job.
What about your favorite sports movie?
My favorite sports movie, I watched it with my grandson just the other night, babysitting him at Sandlot. You gotta love Sandlot.
You love that.
Yeah.
All right. All time, who's your favorite assistant coach?
Wow. It's got to be out to Bob Camara. You know, Bob Camara, he coached me in college. He came with me at Andrean, you know, coached the state championship team and state runner-up offensive lines. He's just a great man. He's a mainstay in the region. Gotta love Bob Camara.
Yeah, I coached with Bob a few years at LC when I was on the freshman staff, and he was part of the varsity.
Yep.
All right, so we're saving the last 10 yards, Coach. You got a lot of time to talk about this one. What's the favorite memory on this field?
Wow.
All right, so a game, you name it, talk about it.
So I would say one. You got to give you one.
Well, all right, well, we got 10 yards. Give me two.
All right, I'll give you two.
All right.
One that we lost in double overtime. It was Dimitri Blacko's senior year, and we needed to kick an extra point right here to win it, and we missed the extra point and lost. And then 2 years later, we had a hard-fought battle with Griffith out here. I think it was Russ's last year, and you know, we ended up beating them. I want to say it was like 28 to 20, something like that. Matt DeSomer played a really good game, and that was a lot of fun. I've got other memories out here.
Well, we got a couple yards. We're going to walk over that.
I can tell you. I mean, I was here. I can remember being over here on the infamous 4th and 26, you know, and watching that. And those are things that make you want to be here. You know, that game, the 4th and 26 game.
All right, so how about in the last 3 years?
Wow, when we beat River Forest my first year, you know, we had to make a play down here to stop them on a 2-point conversion, and we made a great play over here on this sideline on speed option and tackled them right before we crossed to get the 2-point conversion, and we ended up beating River Forest. That was a great win for us.
All right, well, let's raise a glass to Griffith football. Right there. And cheers to the 2026 Griffith Panthers. And if you're going to raise your glass, go to Broad Street Tavern, located on Broad Street and Main Street here in Griffith. Beautiful downtown Griffith. Cheers to Griffith football. And one last question I forgot to ask you. All right, we're crossing the end zone. What's the team goal for this year? What are your team goals?
To win the sectional. You know, that's all we've talked about is winning the sectional. And we know who we have to beat in order to do that, and that's a battle. That's an uphill battle. But if this is a group that can do it, we believe this is the group.
All right, you heard it from Coach Mason. Sectional championship game. Hopefully it'll be here at home.
Yeah, it would be great.
That'd be great. All right. This is Jay Simmons, Coach Phil Mason here on the Boneyard. This is Region Sports, the only game in town.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
down, sit, hut.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce. This is where the athlete shops.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.